You've run the numbers. You have a spreadsheet full of significant p-values, and the results section is officially done. But now you're facing the most difficult part of the process, explaining what it all actually means. Researchers Alan Glatthorne and Randy Joyner note that many students struggle here. Some simply repeat their results in paragraph form, while others attempt to explain their findings without ever mentioning the existing literature. Readers turn to the discussion to understand the story behind the data. They want to hear your voice as you attempt to make sense of your findings. Data requires deliberate translation to have value. Without interpretation, a statistically significant result is just a number on a page. To bridge this gap, we use a structural engine called the 5 rhetorical moves. This framework provides a specific sequence to process raw data into academic insight. Move 1 is the restatement. You open the paragraph by identifying a specific finding and linking it back to your research question. This provides a focused, interpretive summary rather than a repetition of a results table. Move 2 is the interpretation. Here, you explain why our result occurred or what it tells us about the study's theoretical framework. Effective interpretation relies on calibrated language. This spectrum shows how writers choose their words. Hedging uses suggest or appear for caution, while boosting uses clearly demonstrates when evidence is overwhelming. Writers modulate their tone along this scale to match their evidence, preventing overclaimed findings. Moves 1 and 2 establish the transition from reporting facts to proposing theoretical meaning. Move 3 requires you to connect your findings to the broader academic conversation. A helpful strategy is building a finding literature map. Place your result in the center and organize existing research around it, identifying confirming and opposing studies. Strong researchers prioritize contradicting evidence, like addressing Zhang, who found no change in student outcomes. Explaining these discrepancies is what demonstrates scholarly depth. You look at differences in sample size, proficiency levels, or task design to account for why your results differ from previous work. Move 3 is the critical moment the researcher stops working in isolation and finally joins a global scholarly debate. Move 4 states the implications. You take your findings and apply them to the real world, offering actionable takeaways for teachers, curriculum designers, or other researchers. Move 5 involves acknowledging limitations. This is where you identify the boundaries of your study, such as a small sample size or a specific methodological constraint. Think of this like an architectural blueprint. A solid building has clearly defined load limits and structural boundaries. Defining these limits shows that you understand exactly where your findings apply and where they don't. It signals to other scholars that your research is built on a foundation of rigor. Ultimately, moves 4 and 5 establish the real-world utility of your research while being completely honest about its inherent constraints. When these 5 moves are used together, they create a single, flowing argument. This structure provides a logical path that leads the reader from raw results to a meaningful conclusion. The discussion section is the specific part of a paper where your scholarly voice takes the lead. Mastering these moves turns a summary of data into a credible contribution to your field. So look at your results again. Build your literature map and draft your first Move 1 sentence. The scholarly conversation is waiting for your contribution.